This is Fox 13 News, the most watched news in the Mid-South.
Weather extremes after tornadoes and floods.
Now the heat is coming to the Mid-South.
It feels like you get used to it every year, but it's just more brutal and brutal as the years come by. It doesn't really get any better.
You know, we just endured a pretty rough severe weather season, and now summer is on its way.
Of course, this is an important forecast. So the entire team in Severe Weather Center 13 gathered to put together your summer forecast. We begin with Chief Meteorologist Andrew Humphrey.
We are sprinting into change this summer. As the Mid-South entered the spring severe weather season, the official forecast from Severe Weather Center 13 predicted a warmer and wetter pattern. Unfortunately, that did come through in a big way. We tracked historic flooding and devastating tornado outbreaks. Now, as we transition to summer, our atmospheric conditions are also changing. We are moving out of La Nina and into a neutral pattern. Here, let me show you the difference. Under La Nina, the jet stream, which steers our weather, dips farther south and brings storms our way. That includes the generational record-breaking rainfall, tornadoes, and flooding we experienced in early April. Moving into a neutral pattern, the jet stream shifts farther north. Now, I expect that to keep our summers drier and a bit less stormy, but also hot and muggy. Now, with storms so fresh on all of our minds, let's begin with the summer storm outlook with meteorologist Brittany DeBose.
This was a difficult severe weather season, but it is a relief to tell you I now expect a reduced risk of strong storms this summer. Now, typically tornadoes are not as common for Mid-South in the summer months, but with that shift in the jet stream, we'll also have fewer of the cold fronts that usually bring storms our way. The storms we will have will be of the pop-up variety, brought on by extreme heat and humidity. Those typically come on very fast. They're characterized by heavy rain and lightning, and that can lead to localized flash flooding. But for the most part, this summer should be drier than normal. Andrew?
Less rain, however, means less relief from the heat. While it'll be drier than normal, it will also be slightly hotter, and that is a big concern, as explained by meteorologist Wendy Nations.
More than tornadoes, floods, or hurricanes, extreme heat kills more people in the United States than any other type of weather. And we are predicting a hotter than average summer. On average, about 2 or 3 degrees hotter than normal. But what I'm most concerned about, this heat is going to come in waves. You may have weeks of average temperatures interrupted by days in a row of unusually hot temperatures. Those heat waves are especially dangerous because the temperature never gets low enough for your body to cool. And with many older homes in Memphis with poor insulation, lacking air conditioning, those heat waves could be deadly. We are predicting a slightly warmer than average temperature in the Gulf. That leads to higher humidity in our area, making it feel even hotter. We are predicting 42 days of the heat index feeling hotter than 100 degrees this summer and 7 days of feel-like temperatures above 109. For people working outdoors or in warehouses, it will be important to have a plan to cool down. And at outdoor events, make sure you stay hydrated. Andrew?
To add another challenge to the summer's heat is an effect known as urban heat island. In the suburbs or the country, there are trees, grass, even fields that help absorb heat. Here in Memphis, there are roads, parking lots, buildings, even the roof of your home, all things that emit heat. The result? The temperature in Memphis is an average of 5 to 10 degrees hotter than it is in areas outside the city. Some parts of town are even worse, including downtown, Raleigh, and near the airport. Extreme heat will also make a big impact in the next part of our forecast. Here's meteorologist Chelsea Chandler with the forecast on this hurricane season.
Memphis is more than 320 miles from the coast. Now, typically, you may not be overly concerned about a busy hurricane season here, but last year was a prime indicator that hurricanes can impact all of us. Hurricane Helene devastated West Tennessee and eastern North Carolina, more than 400 miles away from landfall. That storm was able to get intense and maintain its intensity, in part thanks to extremely hot temperatures in the Gulf. It was like bath water, about 90 degrees, and hot water is like pouring fuel on a fire for hurricanes. This year, we also expect warmer than usual Gulf water temperatures, about 2 to 3 degrees above average. And any storm that will impact us typically does come from the Gulf. The other factor, Andrew has been telling you about the neutral ENSO cycle. That means there's less wind shear or disruption in the atmosphere that would help tear down hurricanes. So storms may be able to get to the U.S. without much obstacle. Our forecast is for a slightly higher than average hurricane season. This chart shows our prediction. It's next to the average. We expect 17 named storms in 2025, 9 of those hurricanes, and 4 as major hurricanes. Now, it's difficult to say at this point where those storms may hit, but we are especially concerned about any storm that could come into the Gulf. Andrew?
Thank you, Chelsea. Let's put all of this together for you now. We are moving into a neutral ENSO cycle. Thankfully, that will bring the Mid-South fewer storms and also keep us a bit drier than normal. But we will also be a bit hotter than usual, with some of that heat coming in dangerous waves that last for several days. We are also expecting a slightly busier than average hurricane season. And as we saw last year, even this far from the coast, we are not immune to tropical weather. Count on the entire team here in Severe Weather Center 13 to track all of it for you all summer long. I'm Chief Meteorologist Andrew Humphrey.